Ladies and gentlemen, Joe diGenova agrees with William Barr. Joe diGenova is a very esteemed, well-known attorney. He's been at the forefront of all of this with his wife, Victoria Tenzing, who represented William D. Campbell, I believe, who was the informant that stated that, Russian lobbyists were bragging about their influence over President Obama's administration and the Clinton Foundation. This was a testimony to numerous committees in Congress regarding the Uranium One sale, and of course Democrats said, well, where's your proof? Where's your evidence? There's only his opinion. And then they use Alexander Downer's opinion, hearsay and gossip. He's linked to the Clinton Foundation, the Australian diplomat. CrowdStrike was outsourced by Democrats. Clinton purchased the Steele dossier. The whole thing was an obvious setup. And then you have people on the left saying, there was no illegal activity. Well, we know now that the Inspector General stated that James Comey should be charged for intent. And there was one person, one gentleman on Fox stated, intent saved Trump Jr. No, it didn't. There's nothing illegal about obtaining Clinton's emails. Okay, there's nothing illegal because they were yoga emails, number one. Her deleted emails were the issue here, not the classified and top secret intelligence that was on her servers. She deleted yoga emails and wedding planning emails. So even if Trump Jr. wanted emails from Clinton, from Natalia Veselnitskaya, that would have proven that her server was hacked. This is basic logic and basic, reasoning skills that these people lack. People on the left completely lack reasoning skills. Democratic Party is being suffocated by its own propaganda. It always falls back to Clinton, who's running again in 2020. Yes, they're not going to... This is a charade that should never be seen for what it is. Clinton is going to run again in 2020. She's going to lose again. She'll be the nominee. But anyway, Joe diGenova, Barr's Comey decision was the right call, but this is just the beginning. And he goes on to say, the quest for truth is far more important than the pursuit of retribution against an already disgraced FBI official whose behavior in office was unbecoming of any public official. There are many of us who want to see James Comey before a jury or in a jail cell, but like Attorney General Barr, I'm more interested in seeing the full and complete accounting of the malfeasance that took place at the DOJ during and after the presidential campaign. The release of a pending report by Inspector General Michael Horowitz is, by all accounts, imminent. The product of more than 16 months of investigation, the report will cover far more devious schemes than Comey's leaking. Horowitz is finally going to reveal the truth about the dishonest handling of a FISA warrant application. But there's also the issue of Andrew McCabe. You cannot charge Comey before you charge Andrew McCabe. Okay? Horowitz, like Barr, is a true professional. His intrepid work revealed to the world the whole picture of Comey's number two, Andrew McCabe, whose own improper leak to the media got him fired just days before he would have been eligible for a government pension. It was his extensive investigation through which we learned the full extent of FBI agent Peter Strzok and DOJ lawyers Lisa Page's anti-Trump text messages that disqualified Strzok from further participation in the special counsel Mueller's probe. Look, you have President Trump continually saying this can never happen again. You have President Trump continually saying we have to make sure that no president ever goes through this again. William Barr has actually stated that. Mark Meadows has stated that. Jim Jordan has stated that. Okay? Matt Gaetz, who tweeted about Comey, and then Comey's like, yeah, tweet at me, bruh. He should have taken that and said, okay, who's lying? You or Loretta Lynch, Comey? James Comey lied under oath. He stated that Loretta Lynch told him to call Clinton's email investigation a matter. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I have an amazing segment you will love on why there will never be a military-civil conflict. Or at least there isn't going to be one now. So people use the word civil and then fill in the blank in America because the left is getting completely unhinged. It's never going to happen, at least not now. And I state the reasons. So in terms of a civil war or anything like that, that's not going to happen. And I explain that on HA2A. Check out my last segment on LMNOP and how it's everything I said about that is coming to fruition. And about the segment prior to that one is Marianne Williamson's ethereal spirits are still losing to Trump in an alternate universe, which is hilarious. HA2A is a more raw, unfiltered version. There's profanity alerts, and so I'm building up that channel. We're over 6,000 subs. Tell your friends about HA2A. But, ladies and gentlemen, it is important to understand you cannot charge James Comey for leaking when he's committed more crimes, and Andrew McCabe currently has a criminal investigation, and James Comey offered to testify against McCabe. McCabe has stated that Comey told him he could leak information. Comey said he never told McCabe that. Comey also said on CNN that he's willing to testify against McCabe. So they're all turning on each other. You can't just, Christopher Wray right now is at the FBI. Christopher Wray has to be replaced by Trump. And Trump is just waiting for the opportunity. Could be before the election, but after the election. 2020 is not going to be Biden. It's not going to be Willie Brown's ex-lover. It's not going to be the person who failed her DNA test. It's not going to be Beto O'Rourke giving speeches and consuming soil. It's not going to be Bernard Sanders, who, you cheated me, and I should blame Russia for informing the country that you cheated me. My bad. No. Deborah Wasserman Schultz, if you say a derogatory word, you'll have me to contend with. What was that? Vermont doesn't have Medicare for all. Why is that? Why is it that no state has Medicare for all, but it's so feasible and wonderful for 320 million Americans? Because if I keep saying it, they'll just fall back and vote for Clinton. And at least we'll have some people who will think that maybe, possibly, Madam Secretary will implement it and, basically we're deceiving voters. That's what we're doing. Just like in 2016 when I was cheated by Deborah Wasserman Schultz and she was forced to resign. And then I blamed Russia for informing the country that I was cheated. So, in a sense, you slapped me in the face, and because I didn't shave, you felt discomfort on your knuckles. So, what have we learned today? Me not shaving and my coarse visage gave your hands an unpleasant experience when you were slapping and beating my face. That's what we learned, and I'm going to fight the 1% with that mentality. Anyway, there's Andrew McCabe, there's Peter Strzok, there's Bruce Orr, who told the FBI not to use a Steele dossier. Andrew McCabe has his fingerprints are all over the Steele dossier. It says verified. You cannot. They keep falling back on, well, we tried our best. It's an overt and obvious setup. So why would you want to end? Why would you want to essentially end John Durham's investigation? For what? What's the point of that? Why would you want to end John Durham's investigation? Because if you charge Comey, that's it. Comey can either help you indict everyone else, or everyone else can help you indict Comey. Why would you do that? Some people who are like, oh my God, yeah, I get it. Every single day I obsess over it because people committed crimes. Believe me. But it's not like, look, we had no clue that the IG would even say that he should be charged. So that's a good thing already. So Andrew McCabe is under criminal investigation now. And James Comey should be indicted, but William Barr is not going to, he's going to decline. Why? Because John Durham has an ongoing probe. There's going to be people, look, whether it's low-level people or high-level people, there are going to be people who get indicted. Okay, they committed crimes. That's why when people are like, oh yeah, H.A. Goodman said Clinton was going to get indicted in 2016. Oh, it's like, did she commit crimes? Then you have these alleged security officials on Twitter. It's like, well, why don't you explain to us how a Microsoft Exchange software on servers running on Microsoft Exchange software outside of the United States government stored top secret of special access program intelligence without being hacked by the entire planet? Okay? By the way, you will love my next segment on HA2A. It's great. It's awesome. If you think that there's like civil conflict on the horizon, there's not. Okay? And I explain exactly why, in terms of logistics, in terms of just, I'll explain. In terms of just, who's going to, I ask a million different questions they're rhetorical. There's a million reasons why it's not going to happen. Okay? What happens when you run out of food? Who's going to supply food? Anyway, just watch the segment. You have George Papadopoulos, who hasn't yet testified. He will testify in the Senate. Michael Flynn needs to be pardoned. I can't believe, the reaction from people when I wrote my Federalist article. They have he was only charged with lying to Peter Strzok. Nothing else. Nobody was charged for collusion. Yet they investigated forever. And they just have Twitter, and that's another reason why there is no left in the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen. I'll explain this on HA2A in more colorful and enjoyable and amusing terms. It's a bunch of different factions who hate one another, who pretend that they're big and powerful and tough, yet their ideologies are in conflict with one another. If anyone's going to have a civil conflict, it'll be on the left, among the left. And I'll get into different groups and words that I can't use here. So subscribe to HA2A. But you have to understand that Joe diGenova continues. Okay, so his op-ed on Fox, Joe diGenova, Barr's Comey decision was the right call. But this is just the beginning. Attorney General Barr made the right call. This would have been the first major charging decision of his investigation, which is not the time to go all in on a maybe case. To do so would create exactly the appearance of political vindictiveness and retributivist prosecution he's working so hard to dispel. Look. We are going to continually learn all the criminal behavior that takes place. The Democratic Party is still somewhat functioning, even though it's like the Titanic right before, maybe immediately after it hit the iceberg. Okay, it was still afloat for a little bit. Once Clinton runs, and she will, because here's the H.A. Goodman math equation. Mathematically, they spent $140 million, Clinton did in 2016, in Florida alone. It's $140 million might be, 1/3 of what Biden raises, just altogether. So it's a fundraising racket for Democrats. They don't stand for anything. Trump didn't really have to spend $600. He spent $600 million. He got negative press, and he still won. Okay, they cheated Bernie Sanders. They blamed Russia. Then they think now election interference is national security. It's not national security because they used the Steele dossier and they used the ledger against Manafort. And they used Alexander Downer and MI6 and MI5. So foreign intelligence is okay if it helps Democrats, but it's not okay if it helps Trump. How does that work? And no foreign intelligence helped Trump because guess what? Deborah Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign. Why did she? Why did she resign? That's why if I debated anyone on the left on any of these issues, they'd have nothing to say because I know all of their dirty little secrets. Because I used to be on the left and I used to see the duplicity. They don't understand what hypocrisy means. Okay, you have to understand these people don't get what hypocrisy means. They have no clue what it means. They think that they are ordained by some kind of Marianne Williamson's ethereal goblins and ghosts and love forces to just do whatever they please. They destroy Libya. They don't care. President Obama drinks Flint water, and it's all about Trump's tweets. So I mean, they're running on a different. Basic logic is very difficult for them. It's all about emotion. They only care about emotion, and they have a morality fetish. They don't care about morality. They care about feeling that they're moral. So when you explain to them specific issues, nuances, realities in the Middle East, for example, within Israel, they can't. They're morally. their brains just implode. The software they're running just stops working. And then they just say, well, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? I mean, there's no comeback there's no rebuttal they have for just basic logic, which is that, yeah, Comey committed crimes. Why didn't Trump, if Trump had purchased a Steele dossier and said that Hillary Clinton enjoyed bodily fluids raining down upon her, they would say, my God, this is an overt setup. Are you kidding me? But if it's Trump, they don't care. And Comey lied under oath. He did a whole bunch of things. Someone's committing perjury, either he is, or Loretta Lynch is. But I mean, you have a whole bunch of, you have judges who were deceived. You have other classified information on Flynn's discussion that was highly classified, leaked to the media. You have a whole bunch of people leaking information. Andrew McCabe being one of the top people. James Baker being one of the top people. So you don't want them to flip and sing the way they thought Manafort and Gates and all these people were going to flip and sing. No one flipped and sing. Michael Cohen made up stuff. He made things up. Otherwise, Trump would have been indicted with things. There would have been evidence. Cohen made allegations. But see, look, when the DNC emails were released, the Democratic Party imploded and their minds warped into jelly. They think that gossip about Trump is equal to the truth about them. They don't realize that the average American doesn't view Trump as this hate-filled monster who's spewing racist rhetoric. No, they don't. No, the average American doesn't care. He's a really bad. He's really bad at being a racist when you look at the First Step Act, when you look at record low Black and Latino unemployment, and there's no rebuttal to that. And I explain my new website's coming out. It's a website devoted to defeating. It'll give you everything you need, every rebuttal you need to defeat people. Oh, he said both sides were morally equivalent. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He worked with Russia. No, he didn't. He obstructed justice. No, he didn't. Never before has the left been so wrong on everything. Never before has the left in America been so wrong on everything. You could look back and you could say, hey, you know what, liberals were right on certain things. You could say that. You could definitely say that throughout history. But today, like, what do they write about? President Obama, by the way, was on pace, deported more than 3 million human beings, and President Trump is not even on the same pace. At this point in his presidency, President Obama was kicking out human beings at a faster pace than Trump. That's from the Los Angeles Times. That is from the Los Angeles Times. So, give me your thoughts below, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely check out HA2A. I'm going to really enjoy that segment. It's going to be really fun. And you have a situation where media is losing influence. So they have to then go to social media, then they have to go to other forms of communication, and still, like, their message is not resonating because you have corrupt actors and you have criminals. James Comey was recommended for prosecution. He committed crimes. This vindicates everything I've been saying for 2 years, 3 years. I wrote in the Daily Caller in 2016, it was almost certainly a cover-up what took place. And if he was recommended for criminal activity, that bolsters, that justifies Trump in firing him in the first place. So there goes the obstruction. There goes the obstruction case. But they think they cut their version of victories. Look, the Democratic Party's version of victories is not getting indicted. That wasn't Trump's version of a victory. Not getting indicted wasn't Trump's version of a victory. Okay? The whole thing was nonsense. They couldn't find any information on any. They couldn't find any information because there was none. And the Mueller report leads to Mueller didn't. The real victory was Mueller not knowing who Glenn Simpson and Fusion GPS were. I mean, that's the real victory. That proves you can't have an obstruction case because Natalia Veselnitskaya met before and after with Glenn Simpson. There was nothing illegal about the Trump Jr. meeting. Absolutely nothing. You better believe that Clinton would have 1 million people searching for Trump's emails, especially if they were about yoga. If Clinton had yoga emails and they were all over and they were hacked by Russia, and Trump Jr. wanted them, that's not national security and that's not illegal. The illegal part is Clinton actually owning servers that were hacked by the planet. It's just like basic. So which one is it? The notion that her server was hacked is completely, absurd. Or her server was hacked and Natalia Veselnitskaya had her emails and Trump Jr. wanted them. Which is more, it's like, if that were true, that would prove that Clinton should have been charged under the Espionage Act. Give me your thoughts below. I'm about to sneeze. Check out HA2A right now below.